begin, you want to crack the bottom of your eggs on the rounder, bigger side. Just kind of tap it gently on the counter, something firm, and then peel away at the outer shell. You're also going to have to take away some of the membrane there, which will otherwise hold everything in. So it's a little bit of a messy job, but it's a good idea to just do this in the morning if you're going to be making eggs for breakfast or something. And then shake out all the insides. And after you get the insides, the yolk, and everything else out of there, you're going to want to rinse it out really well and then let it dry in a windowsill or something overnight. Now, once they have dried, use something sharp like the point of a knife or a sewing needle to make a little hole on the opposite end. And this works best if they are nice and dry, and it's something that's very sharp and very pointy. It's kind of tricky because if you press too hard, you're going to crack the shell. If you don't press hard enough, you're really not getting in there. So here I tried using a toothpick a little bit. I found eventually just the finest point knife that I had seemed to work the best. And then here we are going to be threading through the wick. And if you get a wick that is already coated in wax, it's going to go through a lot easier. But in this case, this one is not a wax coated wick. So you got to kind of stick it in there, sneak it in the hole. And then I found a tweezer worked the best for reaching down and in and pulling the wick all the way through. So it's a little bit putzier to start to get this all done, but really, again, it just takes a little bit of time while you're already making breakfast or working on something else. So you want to pull it all the way through, and you want a little bit on either side. We will be trimming the wick off of both ends, but you want a little bit extra to work with here. I found that was kind of nice to have. Very important step, which I forgot on some of them and had a big mess, is you really want to tape over the end, the thin end. This is going to prevent any wax from leaking out when you put it in. So I just use painter's tape. Make sure you get it really nice and snug all around that wick and all around the hole. I just folded the wick over kind of on its side. So next thing is you want to add your wax. Now I use soy and beeswax. I think soy was much easier, especially if you're kind of a beginner to dealing with waxes. This is a really nice wax. You can just melt directly in the microwave. Took about a minute 30 seconds to melt it, and you want to pour it when it's about 160 degrees. So I made 4 eggs with the soy wax, and it took about 1.5 cups of the solid wax beads. So beeswax, on the other hand, a little harder. You have to heat it in a double boiler like I just showed, but you also pour that at 160 degrees. So here they are. Then you use something solid. I found the clothespins worked really well to hold your wick up in the middle and let them sit for several hours to even overnight. And then you need to just remove your eggshell. Now this one I was taking the shell off when it wasn't frozen. If you freeze them, it comes off way easier because the wax pulls away from the shell. So you just pull all of that off. Here is one of the soy wax ones. Since the soy wax is softer, you might end up with little nicks in the surface, but again, since it's soft, you can just kind of use your body heat to smooth out any holes or things like that. And there you have it. Really simple, didn't take too much work. There's a little bit of a learning curve. My beeswax ones, I don't think I had the beeswax quite hot enough, so I had to kind of top them off one time, and so they ended up a little bit uneven, not quite as beautiful as I would like, but I think the soy wax ones turned out just about perfect. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you make some beautiful candles to celebrate your spring season, and send me pictures if you do.